I would give my left kneecap for 20 more John Buehlers in the Napa Valley. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Napa's out of control, right, kids? Let's face it, we all know it. And Napa says they're in control, but they're in control in their own little world, but they're not. I mean, let's think about the sustainability of a wine growing region, and it's what Napa's been doing I don't think it's exactly been sustainable. It's been sustainable longer than they, I think, anticipated. So they're like, oh, this is the new normal. It's like, well, everything comes back to the mean, right? And the mean, John Buehler, Buehler Estate. Just one of the vanguard Napa Valley Cabernet houses. They're quiet. They don't make a big stink. They're out there in Conn Valley, way out in BFE, at the base of Howell Mountain, kind of left to their own devices, kind of middle of nowhere type deal, not on the wine trail, not on the wine route, not on 29. Accordingly, they own all their dirt, and I don't think they feel the pressure to comply. When I use the term comply, I think they're going about doing their own thing the way that they see fit. And in fact, I see it that way as well. I think to put it simply, they've just stuck to the guns, and there's a lot of pressure in the valley, a lot of pressure to be the next whatever, a lot of ego, a lot of narcissism, a lot of next up, better than better than better than better. And there are many people in Napa Valley who have taken advantage of that for a great financial gain. But the Buehlers just keep on being the Buehlers, man. I absolutely adore it. And their wines are shining beacons of classic Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon. The way things used to be. Maybe the way things should be again. Maybe the things will be again as trends and, I was talking with Greg Brewer earlier this morning about that, as things change, as generations shift, as everyone wants to leave their mark, but in the end you come back to just making great Cabernet Sauvignon, probably a little bit better than you made it before, after all said and done. And I think in this case, that's exactly what's going on with the Buehlers. Longtime winemaker David Cronin is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The menu's been the same for a long time. Fabulous hillside Cabernet Sauvignon, picked at the correct time, not too early, not too late. This wine says 14.5 on it, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels very classic, very more early 90s in its presentation of real Napa Valley Cabernet flavors. And the funny thing is, these guys have always been known for value. And I think a few years back, we did a bunch of business, both with their straight Napa Valley Cabernet and their estate Cabernet. And I have to say, I forget what vintage I was, maybe 18, memory serves. But what happened is, between those two wines, they make a regular Napa Valley Cabernet. I think they do maybe source some fruit for that. I can't be sure. But they're very nearly 100% estate, if not all estate. But that wine was real close in quality to the estate Cabernet that year. And when we tasted the two wines, it's like, well, let's just run with the little dude first, or the regular Napa Valley Cabernet, and then we'll run into the estate one and tell that story as well. This year, for whatever reason, and I don't know, I haven't talked to John, I haven't talked to David, haven't talked to the team there, but we saw a greater jump between the regular Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon and the estate Cabernet Sauvignon. So much so that the regular Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon got us interested because it picked up another big score from Spectator again. And we're like, oh crap, these guys did it again. I mean, just how many times can a Cabernet do this under 30 bucks in Napa Valley? Tasted blind, and they seem to do it all the time. Great for them, right? But then we tasted the estate. And the estate this year said, pardon me, son. Excuse me, I'm just gonna mosey right on in here. And the estate was definitely the wine. The regular Napa Valley Cabernet, regular, is fantastic, beautiful, extreme value for money, but the value factor here, I kind of got ramped up a little bit with this bottling. So the whole estate bottling, from what I can remember, this wine's usually 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. They don't futz around with it. Mostly French oak, only about a third new, right? So not a lot of new wood here. This isn't bells and whistles wine. Little touch of American oak, maybe just a pinch of new, like 1%, and then mostly seasoned barrels. And from their vineyards, you just get like real Cabernet, right? Is this so hard? Cassis, herb, plum, black cherry, But that cassis kind of runs to the front there, which I absolutely adore, because that's a real, true varietal character Cabernet Sauvignon. And you get savory herbs, cooking herbs, but no mint. Sometimes you get mint in wines done in this style, etc. But this wine is mint-free. No eucalyptus trees maybe around the property. Just the balance, the pedigree. This wine has power. This wine has weight behind it, but it also has tons of nuance. Very good acidity, melty tannins that are not prominent, but they're there. Great underpinning. Really well put together wine. And getting back to, again, what we discussion we had earlier in the day, the whole less is more type thing, and where you're not trying to be too complicated with it. You're trying to let the dirt do its thing, which is what it's all about, right? Now, in some other parts of the valley, this wine would sell for a lot more. I'm not going to kid you. There's that pressure to hang a $100 price point on an estate Cabernet Sauvignon, or else you're like leaving money on the table, or you're thwarting the potential success of others in the valley. Well, I think this may be doing the opposite. I think John may be teaching some other people in the valley a lesson. You know, come on, kids, let's do this. Because you know what? He's getting the numbers, he gets the run, he gets the press. This one, by the way, 94 points Galoni. Big number on a wine in this price range. Huge. Not only that, 93 points Spectator. They taste blind. In the email, you'll see a list of other wines that got 93 points from Spectator in 2021. It's an impressive list. It's a bunch of $150, $160 jobbers. When you read the email, you'll see it's a who's who. And he's doing it at half to a third the price. Wow, right? It's like, yes, we need this. This is important wine. This is important wine for the sustainability of the valley. And I hope some other folks take note. It's on our shelf at $40. And I think it's got a full 50 retail at the winery. Extremely reasonably priced. And like I said, this is not, this is real wine, right? There's a lot of other wineries in Napa actually making wine like this that I know for a fact that are charging $85, $90. And I want to bring that point home, I really do. Just because the wine's $40, it doesn't mean it's bad. Even though you've been trained to think that way, I would advise you to not think that way, because there are certain situations where that is not necessarily true. Amazing Cabernet Sauvignon value from the Buellers. As usual, oops, they did it again. $40, huge press, great vintage, available. Get yourself some.